Hello everyone and welcome back to DiamondTrail Ranch. Today we're going to be talking about 7 common mistakes that new homesteaders make and how to avoid them. Starting a homestead is one of the most rewarding things you can do. Whether you dream of fresh eggs, a full pantry, or just more self-sufficiency overall, the journey is full of joy and challenges. Look right here at these chickens and ducks drinking fresh water. You know, it's the little things you notice like that. I've made my fair share of mistakes. I've seen plenty others make them too. So in this video, we're going over 7 of the most common mistakes new homesteaders make and how you can avoid them. And in addition, I'll throw in some helpful facts I wish I had known back when I was getting started. When you're just getting started, it's easy to want everything, and that's any and all homesteads. You know, you want the big garden, you want all of the chickens, and the chickens never start with just one, right? You get a couple of them. Next thing you know, you got right here. How many do you see? Can you count right here? And this isn't even half of them. I mean, and we're just on a couple of acres here, you know. So you get your goats, you get 1 or 2 goats. Next thing you know, you're building pens. How many pens can you count back there? Those weren't here when we moved here. We built those pens. Bees, if that's your thing. So you'll have to, you want to start off with a giant garden, chickens, all the goats, all the bees, and everything else in between, like ducks and horses. But here's the truth. Every new thing adds complexity. And according to the USDA, over 52% of new small farms actually fail within the first 5 years, mostly due to the burnout and poor planning. That's why YouTube is a great source for this. It's also why it's smarter to scale slowly. Start with 1 or 2 things, like a flock of chickens and a raised bed or 2. Learn the rhythm, then expand. Show you this rabbit because we're actually just getting into rabbitry. It's a small scale thing that isn't hard like chickens. Like if there's 2 things you want to start, I'll do a video on that as well. Probably chickens and rabbits. They don't take up a whole lot of room. Another mistake. Before animals or plants, you need water, right? You need systems, water lines. You need fencing, security, compost, shelter. A lot of folks bring animals home with a we'll figure it out mindset, but the animals don't wait for you to figure it out, right? Goats especially are notorious escape artists. We had a goat named Alice that used to jump 8-foot fences. Did you know goats can jump over 4 feet in general, regardless though of their size and frame? They can also squeeze through a 4-inch gap. Ask me how I know. Good infrastructure saves time, prevents injury, and keeps your animals safe and healthy. And that's, literally, speaking the truth from experience. That's why I'm doing this. This is all speaking from experience, personal research that we've done here on our own homestead. So you'll have, homesteading is it's not a 5-minute thing. It's not a 2-week thing. It's a daily commitment. It does not stop for holidays. Homesteading does not stop for bad weather. And it doesn't stop for busy schedules or vacations. Feeding, watering, mucking stalls, collecting eggs, checking on plants, it all adds up. And this isn't to sound like a negative Nancy or anything. If you're getting into this, it needs to be a reality check because that's exactly what it is. A basic chicken setup alone takes about 15 to 30 minutes a day. And that's not just today and you're done forever. That's every day. Multiply that by multiple animals. A garden. Do you have compost? It's a full-time rhythm. In your zone. What zone are you in? Are you watering twice a day? Are you in a drought? Has it rained too much? Are you adjusting your water and your compost accordingly? And your pH, are you checking the pH on your plants while your goats are still getting fed in the back? Before you expand, ask yourself, can you commit to this every day, long term? And back to zone A, you don't want to ignore your local climate. Because while you might be in a severe drought watering your plants twice a day, are you watering all of your animals twice a day? That's a whole nother, when you were planning to go visit your grandma or whatever this weekend, is anybody going to watch and, feed these animals for you? Do you have a plan set up? Homesteading is a networking thing that you want to get to know your neighbors. One of the most overlooked things by new homesteaders is the climate. We are down here are in zone 10A. It has been 9B before. You guys know how that changes, which means our growing season is year-round. But that also means pests, heat, and humidity are always an issue. If you're going to plant based on someone's video that's north of you, you're going to have a problem. You really need to learn your USDA hardiness zone, and it can change, so stay up to date on that. Your hardiness zone, your frost dates, your rainfall averages. For example, tomatoes stop setting fruit in temperatures over 85 degrees. So in Florida, summers, not so much the winter, although we have very short winters in 10A, they will struggle without shade or timing. Some of the things you can do here, like peppers, they're pretty resilient. I'm going to have to do another video on really putting on an emphasis on when your packet of seeds says full shade when you're starting your garden, or I'm sorry, full sun, that's not, I'm telling you, it's probably not full sun if you're in zone 10A. It's probably 2 to 4 hours of full sun because it's brutal. Make sure you're aware, like I said, of your USDA hardiness zones, your frost dates, and your rainfall averages, because everything's different with the zones. Specifically zone 10, 9 too, really. It is really easy to fall in love with baby goats and ducklings, but every animal has specific needs. So you want to make sure you're choosing animals with research, not without. Mistake number 5. Nigerian dwarf goats, for example, are fantastic in small space and produce rich milk. But, gonna be honest with you, they need secure fencing. Copper supplementation, parasite management. Ducks, we all know, right here, for example. Look at how many ducks we have. We have so many that are free-ranging right now, too. They're adorable, and they're messy, and they require a ton of water. I mean, look at the pool we have back there. There's a couple of pools in there. We have to change. You got to change that water out daily on top of all the other water on all your other animals. I think my vehicle yesterday read 98 degrees. That doesn't include the feel-like temperature, so it's probably feeling like 110 degrees already in zone 1. I'm sorry, zone 10A. Chickens need predator protection as well. So do ducks. So do small goats, technically. Raccoons, hawks, and domestic dogs can be a threat. And you'll know if it's a domestic dog because of the way the animal was thrown around and wasn't deliberately just eaten. Know their dietary needs, these animals on your homestead. You need to know their housing. You need to know their common illnesses. You need to know their lifespan. You have got to remember that you are responsible for that animal's well-being. It's like a baby or a puppy or anything with a beating heart that you're responsible for it. Take care of it. Another thing is you can, with all of this set in mind, it sounds like you'd be spending a lot of money. A 6th mistake here is to overspend on fancy gear. You don't need front loaders and, you see a lot of the ranches out there with the fence you got 27 X's from one fence post to another looking fancy. You don't need all that. You do not need to go into debt to start a homestead. The average backyard chicken setup, just chickens, can cost over $1,000 if you buy everything brand new. But I'm telling you, you can do it for a fraction of that using recycled materials. We actually built raised beds from old pallets. I've built numerous beds from old logs. If you got any linemen in your area, ask them if they can get a hold of some telephone poles. Been there, done that. We have that too. I actually used weed fabric barrier and just old compost and spread the compost out and put the weed fabric barrier over that, and chicken wire or whatever, and just go around the post, or I'm sorry, go around that with these other stakes that we have that are virtually, I mean, they're so cheap. It's for the gardening. It's just to keep out pests like rabbits and stuff like that. So we grow potatoes in our feed bags. Like if you look in our other video, I just moved these bananas today. Look at that. The one on the left, both of them, the left and this one here, we just moved those. I moved a third one that's a pup that I didn't show over here though. They're all doing really well so far, I think. They weren't getting enough sun and they had too many rocks where they were before this. Sorry. The potatoes you can see in our other video I just released yesterday in feed bags, composted horse manure. Use what you have. Invest slowly. Save your money for what matters. Durable tools, animal health supplies, the fencing, and the feed. Personally, I'd go with maybe T-post and cattle panel. That'll keep in everything we have on this property. It'll keep that in. So I'm going to say for mistake number 7 here, as you're looking at how much of a hot mess this is, right? And I've got water overflowing, just one of the many things going on with a homestead and a lot of animals. Comparing yourself to other homesteaders. Folks, you guys are here on social media and YouTube and Facebook. It's easy to compare. Every homestead is different. Some people have 50 acres, others have a quarter acre. Some raise meat, others grow herbs. Don't compare your beginning to someone else's middle ground. And it's not about going viral. It's about building something that works for you. You want to focus on small, meaningful progress. If you're growing your own food or caring for animals with love, trust me, you're doing fine. You're already succeeding. If you are just getting started, though, remember, mistakes are part of the journey, and I feel like I say that in every video that I make. You're gonna make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. The goal is not perfection. It's learning, adapting, and growing. By avoiding these 7 common mistakes, you're setting yourself up for a much smoother ride. Start small, build systems, learn your climate, research your animals, spend wisely. Focus on your path. Don't worry about somebody else's path. You've got this. If this helped you, make sure to like and subscribe for more real-life homesteading tips, guys. From here at DiamondTrail Ranch, drop a comment below and let me know, what is your biggest homesteading challenge right now? I'd love to help however I can. We do reply to all comments here. If it does take a day or two, if you send me an email or message me on Facebook, we do have to swap accounts there, so just keep that in mind. I will get to it, I promise. It just takes me a second. Send me a second message. Sometimes I accidentally overlook it. I'm not perfect. Thanks for watching, guys.